Hello everyone, and this video is about my chapter 1 worksheet, and question number 1 is perception, self-identity, culture, and communication are all interrelated and dependent on one another. Which of these four concepts in your opinion is the foundation of the other three, and why? In other words, which one is the most important and why? And my answer for this question is perception is foundation of the other three because the way we see the world around us shapes how we understand ourselves, others, and we interact. Perception shapes self-identity. Perception helps us understand culture. Perception influences communication. And question number 2, give an example of a message you received recently and explain how it impacts your perception about the world and reality. Recently, I saw on TikTok about AI developing the ability to create art and music just like humans. This changed my perception by making me realize how fast technology is advancing and how AI might soon play a big role in creative field, challenging what I am taught was uniquely human. It made me more aware of both possibility and the ethical questions AI to bring to the world. Question number 3, give an example of someone in your life who perceive a topic which may differently than you do, and use at least two of the above listed type of perceptual differences to explain why the difference in perception likely exists. And my answer for the first one is self-identity. I had a conversation with my wife about spending money on brand name clothing. I prefer to save money and buy affordable clothes, while my wife believes spending more on high-end brand is a way to express success and confidence. And the second one is culture. In my culture, living together and family duty are highly valued. It's common for adult children to support their parents, live with extended family, and prioritize the need of the family over personal ambitions. But my coworker raised in a more individualistic culture and saw independence as a sign of maturity and success. And question number 4, give an example of a time when you violated a social norm. What did you do? Why did you do it? And what was the outcome? In my culture, it's respectful to wait for the elders to begin cutting the bread first during lunch or dinner as a sign of respect. I unfortunately violated a social norm by starting to eat the bread before the eldest person at the gathering. The outcome was some people noticed it and gave me polite reminders about the proper ethic. Question number 5. Page 2 of our textbook tells us that culture is the ongoing negotiation and learn and patterned beliefs, attitudes, values, and behaviors. And the culture is something we learn how to do. Give an example of culture we belong to and explain 3 cultural patterns that are part of that cultural experience. Example, at birthday celebration, we give birthday person gift wrapped in paper and they open it in front of everyone at the celebration. Then they send a thank you card to the gift giver within 2 weeks. And my answer for this one is cultural group. It's like arranged marriage. And the pattern for this one is respect for elders and hierarchy. And the other pattern is strong sense of community and hospitality. And third pattern is role of religion in traditional celebrations. Question number 6. Give an example of time when your perception changes because of exposure to cultural difference or a new experience. For example, have you grown to like a kind of food, clothes, music, or other custom that you previously perceived unfavorably? If you don't think of an example, why might be a problem regarding your communication skills? And my answer for this one is I wasn't very open to trying unfamiliar foods, especially dishes that seemed too spicy or looked very different from that I was used in Eritrean kitchen. However, I was encouraged by friends to try other foods. At first I hesitated, but over time I grew to really enjoy those dishes and appreciate the efforts and the tradition behind them. Question number 6. Subcultures are smaller cultures within a large culture. They occur when a group of people deviate from a cultural norm. Describe a subculture that you belong to. Explain why it's subculture instead of a mainstream part of the large culture. Then give one example, a specific way that members of this culture communicate with one another that outside might not really understand. My answer for this one is a subculture is my religion, Christian Orthodox. And the evidence that is subculture, and the evidence for that subculture, Orthodox Christian forms a religious subculture with unique customs such as fasting period, liturgical practice, and holidays like Orthodox Easter that differs from mainstream Christian denominations. On the way that members communicate, one way that Christian Orthodox members communicate that outside might not understand is through the use of liturgical language and rituals during church services. Question number 8. Of these 7 pieces of advice for improving your intercultural communication skill, which do you think is most important and why? And my answer for this one, build a strong listening skill is very important. It helps you to understand differences, reduce misunderstanding, show respect, and learn new perspectives. Question number 9. Discuss an example of someone in your life and explain how one specific element of their self-identity impacts their communication with others. One of my cousins, and my answer for this one is one of my cousins is very shy. This element of her self-identity has impact on how she can communicate with others. Some people misinterpret her quietness as disinterest, but those who understand her identity recognize that she is deeply thoughtful and values meaningful, sincere interactions. Question number 10. Give an example of an element of your self-identity that helps you communicate effectively with others. Then give an example of an element of your self-identity that hinders your ability to communicate effectively with others and explain how you might improve that problem. Elements that helps you to communicate effectively, and my answer is active listening, open-mindedness, cultural awareness, empathy, and etc. And why? Because all those elements create clear, respectful, and meaningful conversation that helps people understand each other better. Elements that hinders your ability to communicate effectively, misunderstand, barriers to trust, fear, and anxiety. Thank you.